Let's go ahead and take a look at a few Reddit comments because, hey, these are fun. Fletch44 says, I feel like I need to respond to these points of woo with another reply entirely. Nowhere in your computer yellow or light blue ones will you now argue that all web pages must be built out of red, blue, and green text images. Looks natural. It's absurd. The brain perceives source direction of sound using cues such as relative. I'm not sure what pixels and the fact that various colors make up other colors or the perception of sound has to do with the physical space that sounds are radiated in the natural world. A cricket you hear over here, a horse you hear over here, you hear wind rustlings of trees here, and birds there, 100 of them in a tree, and they all come from slightly different points in space. Everything's coming from all around us. That's the natural world. You are just repeating woo-woo that you heard and don't have the technical understanding to critically analyze. That assumes that he is in a position to critically analyze because he has understanding. Heartagram says, in response to number one, can you let me know where in the natural world I'd find electric guitar roaming around or a Nord running around the fjords of Iceland? This idea that you don't find this in the natural world goes against amplified sound. I think he may have smoked a blunt too many. Not sure how that relates, but he does have a reference to blunts. Does the natural world have a group of sound creators, each making different sound that is supposed to come together to be a coherent unit? That comes from Go at Dad. I don't know, having a bunch of sounds all coming from different spots that aren't the same is the natural world. So bands are natural, I guess. I'm okay with that. Fletch44 comes in with nowhere in the natural world do multiple discrete sounds. Okay, he's repeating. Nowhere in a PA system does that happen either. Nowhere in a PA system do multiple discrete sources emanate from a single point. We take a bunch of sounds and we put them into a speaker. That's exactly what I'm referring to. The fact that we do that. Every natural sound is a mix of frequencies combined at different levels to give different timbres and sounds. Unrelated and true. J Triangle. Dave shares his ideas. Some of them are outlandish, some of them are obviously great, and some of them sound like they probably won't work. And the only way to find out is actually give it a go, right? Or find someone to do it and listen to it. Schmalk Eind agreed. He strikes me as the kind of guy who merely suggests that we as audio engineers put some thought and creativity into our craft and broaden our understandings, etc. He never says, yes, see if it works. Let me know. Help me learn too. Make this a two-way street. I worked on the Red Hot Chili Pepper Foo Fighter tour many moons ago, and my first interaction with Dave, this is from Jonky Doo, was him opening a giant road case with his dirt bike in it to ride around the arenas. Yeah, Suzuki DR200 SEX is the model number, and I do have a road case. And also, it's for sale if anybody wants it. Since I'm not touring anymore, I don't need the road case and might as well sell the motorcycle with it. It needs some work. So if you need an enduro bike in a road case, let me know. That would be great. I'd love to get the bike out of my garage and the road case out of the rat shop. Tice56, from what I understand from his video/interviews, he focused very heavily on reducing combing. He actually sent more than just 2 different dry mics, one to each side, because he also sends processed feeds. I believe he used to have 2 PAs. My very limited read is he's knowledgeable arena sound. I heard him live only once. Didn't like the show much. I wonder how much of his hearing has survived so much heavy touring. Well, I'm sorry you didn't like the show. My hearing's doing well. I stopped touring in order to pursue adventures of my own rather than spend my life mixing sound for someone else's adventure. On the other hand, exposure to high volume for an extended period of time does have the tennis elbow effect that tennis players get, or skiers' knees, race cars' body. I don't know. We all take our hits in the professional world, and if you strive to be the best at your craft, there's a high probability it's going to take its toll. Maybe it's worth it, maybe it's not. That's for each to determine. Very cool. I think it was one hang for the band, another hang for drums and vocals. Yes, it was drums and vocals, and it was bass and guitar in the other one. Cool. This is from Other Dave. Wheezatron 4000. This is called an AB system. They were common in musical theater for a while. Bands spread across both, vocals split between them. Well, that's true. I'd love to go into more depth on that, and I might as well do it now. With theater, if you have two people on lav mics in close proximity to each other, the voice of one person gets into the lav near them and also gets into the lav of the person that they're speaking to, and vice versa. So now you have two voices and two lavs with a prominent voice of the person the lav mic is on and a lower version of the voice from the other person. When you electronically sum them, you get max comb filtering issues and maximum phasing. If you take and acoustically sum them, so you run one lav mic into this speaker and one into this speaker, even if those speakers are very close, you reduce the perfection of that phasing. You dilute it a little bit. You've added a little difference to it, and it won't sound as phasey and it won't combine as poorly. And you can demonstrate this by taking two mics, talking into two mics, one near and one far, and then take those into a mixing board and electronically sum them, and then run them into two speakers, and then run each mic into its own speaker, and you will hear that difference, something really easy to test. What I was doing is trying to reduce the intermodulation distortion, kind of splitting the ranges of it so that we don't run into issues where the bass guitar is blurring the kick drum because they're both fighting for the 15 at the same time and clipping the amp. And also it allowed me to run 30 VDOS speakers per side, 15 deep times 2 per side. VDOS can only be hung 15 or 16 deep. By having two PA side by side, I could have double the amount of PA, but they would have those phasing issues like I showed with the same sound going into two speakers. So I put different sounds into each one, was able to double the PA and not have those issues. And that was kind of the beginning of what I'm doing here with these decorrelated sounds and running different things into different speakers. So I did it on arena and stadium tours with double hung PAs. And I also do it throughout the mix. And this same concept of not running the same exact signal into multiple sound sources covering the same area can be very beneficial in improving your sound.